Everything that we do is untraceable. Think you gangster, that nigga's erasable. This bitch listening to too much Beyonce. She really thinks she irreplaceable. She tries this and they sit in symmetrical. I put a ring on my niggas, no marriage. It's more so like we winning every year Super Bowl. From broke to an M, it was epic. Next year my investments was ethical. They all praise me and walk like it's medical. Said he put up with once it was Reginald. Just withdraw from the bank, it was regional. I might rap on my whips for the seasonal. My second they see it's an igloo. I mean igloo, I took her to Noble. Hit your hood and ain't nobody know you. I'm a mogul, I went out approach you. My backyard got this season for I ain't do it, I'm rich and they knew it. High poetic, 6 in this fountain. Lady dancing, we fuck at the mountain.
Whoa, wait a minute. Cause you see, hold on. All right, let me button it up real quick. Hold on. Let me button this up real quick. Hold on. I'm kind of like that. And then when I sit down, oh, what's up? I'm very loud. What's going on, man? Hold on, let me get the headphones plugged in. Oh, hold on. I ain't show y'all the cut. Hold on. I got the cut like a couple days ago, so don't. Not too much on me now. Hold on. You may be looking. Jalen, where's your glasses? Laser eye surgery, baby. I don't need them no more. I'm lying. They right here. But what's going on, man? I ain't talk to y'all in a minute, man. What's going on, people? As you can see, I couldn't come any kind of way for the return of the lazy cast. I couldn't come any type of way, man. I couldn't just, you know what I'm saying? But let me stop. How y'all doing? If you haven't seen my face in a couple weeks, you know, I've been just a tiny bit of sick. You know, as you can probably still tell because I lost my voice, but nevertheless, the lazy cast still goes on, and I've still been working on stuff behind the scenes. I've still been working on a certain special video that I want to get out to you guys, hopefully soon. But yeah, man, how y'all been? I've been me. As you can see, I'm still, I'm still doing the do. But yeah, man. Here to talk NBA ball. The last time I talked to y'all was when Justin Fields got traded. That's how long ago this been, man. But before we even get started, I need y'all to do 3 things for me. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn the post noties on. That's more than 3. That's how you can tell how rusty I've been. But yeah, yeah, we're just basically for today. We're just gonna be talking about the NBA awards and my predictions and who I think should win what awards. Some awards are a little bit more self-explanatory than others. Cough Rookie of the Year, which I think is probably the most easiest Rookie of the Year I've seen in a very long time. And yeah, it's been good talking to you niggas, man. Be talking to my niggas, man. I ain't talking to niggas in a minute. But yeah, man. So not Rookie of the Year, 6 Men of the Year. We have a couple. Got a couple candidates on my mind, 2 in particular, and one in particular that I wanted to talk about was obviously, I think, the league leader of people coming off the bench, and because I believe, yeah, he leads the league in points coming off the bench. I hate how he does that. Lead leader coming off the bench, and that's none other than the great Malik Monk. Even though the Kings right now have been struggling, my God, they've been losing an absurd amount of games. They're still in the playoffs. I don't think they can lose their spot in the playoffs because the Rockets got eliminated. There's really no other team that I can think. Only thing is they could probably fall down to the play-in, which would be in fucking insane because the Kings, I think, okay, they can fall further in the play-in because they were close to like the Mavs in that 6th seed, but now they've been dropping, man. They've been dropping some key games, but this guy on the other hand has been fairly good, and also if you're wondering where I got this from, don't worry about it, Playboy. I got the hookups. I got the hookup. You know what I'm saying? Dad, if you see this, I am very sorry. I will put it back right afterwards. Please don't kill me. Anyway, but looking at Malik Monk, last 5 games have been kind of struggling a little bit, shooting 32% from the field, not even averaging 10 points. But on the career on the season as a whole, he's been again leading the league with I think bench players coming off the bench and scoring, putting up 15 points, around 3 boards, 5 assists, almost a steal, decent shooting splits with 44, 35, and 82. And again, Malik I feel like once he's gotten to Sacramento, he's always kind of accepted that role. Once he learned to accept that role of coming off the bench and essentially just being the spark that they need desperately, because I said it a couple videos ago when I was talking about I think when I was talking about my predictions for the Western Conference, and I was talking about the Kings in particular. I wasn't too high on them, as obviously last season they were, I think, a number 2 or 3 or 4. I think they were a very high seed. They were like the number 2 seed, and now they've fell all the way to damn near number 7 or 8 or something like that. And the reason I wasn't as high on them is just strictly for the fact of they didn't do anything in the offseason. I think they had a couple pieces that they should have moved off of, like a Harrison Barnes. Instead, they gave him a contract extension. Keegan Murray has he's hit that sophomore slump, even though he started out kind of, and then it just he's been very roller coastery. So I think, and obviously De'Aaron Fox is De'Aaron Fox. Sabonis, I will say, has gotten a lot better. Sabonis has gotten a lot better. But with that Kings team, they essentially stayed the same when the West as a whole just got immensely better. And in the Western Conference already, it is very hard to get, let alone home court advantage, let alone to get a playoff spot or even a play-in spot. We see how tough it is between that 7 and 10 range, where you got teams like the Lakers are still in there, the Warriors, who just beat the Lakers last night, is in there, the Kings are in there, and then you got a team like the Suns that's like flirting around in there and shit. And then you had a team that just before they got eliminated from playoff contention, the Rockets was on an 8-9 game win streak before they lost 5 in a row. So the West is a very, very stacked conference. It's always been a stacked conference. It's been a stacked conference ever since I've been essentially alive, and especially when I paid attention to basketball. So for the Kings to go from the number 2 seed to fall away to the play-in, they're definitely going to have some type of adjustments coming into the offseason. Keegan Murray also has got to get better in that 3rd year. Again, I'm an advocate. I wish I need to make me a shirt that give young players time, but for what this team I think wants to accomplish, he would probably need to get better just a little bit. And also in that offseason, man, they got to throw some money at some people. They got to. I don't know who, but they got to throw some money at somebody. Maybe once I, go more in depth and look at it. But another player that I wanted to give his flowers to, which I don't think will win it, but he is in serious contention. I think the only reason I don't think he'll win it is because his numbers aren't as good as Malik's, but the impact that he has on the court and the impact that he has on his team as well, especially because their star big has been out with injury and he's played up and he stepped up a very, very big role, is none other than Naz Reid. Naz Reid, man. Shout out Naz Reid. I don't know what fan it was that was holding up his poster, holding up a sign of Naz Reid at WrestleMania 40. Well, I think it was on Saturday. But that's, this man's impact, man. He has impact. That man has the definition of what the little kids like to say, aura. That man has aura, Chad. But just looking at the numbers as a whole, especially for the last 5 games, he's been phenomenal, putting up 18.7 boards, a steal, and a damn near 2 steals and a block a game, shooting crazy splits. Look, don't worry about that free throw percentage, but shooting essentially 52, 57, and then 57-ish from the free throw line as a whole. Those shooting splits have been ridiculous. And then even if we go down to the entire season, putting up around 13 points, 5 boards, assists, 1 assist. But the defense, I think, is what's really going to separate him from Malik, because his ability to handle the ball, his ability to push the break, he's very versatile defensively, as we can see. With it's just over the last 5 games, niggas damn near averaging 2 steals and a block a game. And his ability to guard 1 through 4, essentially 1 through 5, his ability to handle the ball, his ability to hit his open 3-pointers. When looking at his 3-point percentage on the year, shooting a crazy 42% on the year from the 3-point line as a 6'9" big. Crazy as fuck. Well, I shouldn't be surprised, seeing as he's backing up Cat, who Cat before he got hurt was also had like crazy shooting splits from the 3. But yeah, putting up 48% from the field and also a cool 75% from the free throw line. Yeah, man. These two I think would be the 2 front runners for 6 men of the year. But I do want to give a quick shout out to none other than who I think a lot of people had win. Me personally, I had him winning it before the season started. I don't think I ever gave my award predictions on here. But when I was just talking with people and just talking with other basketball fans, this guy was in contention, in my opinion, for 6 men of the year. And that's none other than the Brody. None other than the Brody, man. With the Clippers being 7-2 in the games that he's being back, and literally after they just demolished the Suns, they just beat the shit out the Suns. That man, out of his own mouth, he said, "There's ain't nobody in the league better. Ain't nobody in the league better than me coming off the bench." First off, Westbrook fans, I know y'all are so excited to finally hear this man's name not be associated with Westbrook. And also the fact that this man is actually getting the praise that he deserves and actually getting the love that he deserves. So shout out to Russell Westbrook, man. Shout out to him. I love all that from him. I'm not the biggest Westbrook fan. I watch him from afar, but the hate that he was getting in the Lakers to now, loves to see the character development. But again, over the last 5 games is when they came back, putting up around 15 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, shooting crazy from the field. Also 48% from the field, 42% from the 3, shooting 90% from the free throw line. And just look, I think he does qualify. He also still does qualify for getting 6 men a year, because I think Nas played 72 games. Nas Reed played 72 games, and I think Malik played, I think it said 72 as well. So they all are technically still in contention for 6 men a year. Only reason I don't think that Brody will get it is just simply for the fact that I think the other 2 have been a little bit better than him, even though I can see the argument someone would make for Russell Westbrook, especially in this 9-game stretch that they've had right now. But looking at his not career numbers, but looking at his numbers, he's putting up 11 points, 5 rebounds, essentially 5 assists, a steal, shooting 45% on the field, almost 30% from 3, and shooting essentially 70% from the free throw line. Also, again, the stats for, I think outside of maybe Malik, the stats really don't do Nas Reed and Russell Westbrook justice, and even Malik as well. I don't want to slight him in the chance, but the stats really don't do this man justice, because when he's on that court and when he's on the field, you can just tell the Clippers have a different type of vibe, a different type of just feeling about it, a different type of swagger about him that they just love, and they really, really appreciate him, having him on the court. His intensity, his defense, I think was probably the most underrated part of Russell Westbrook, is that his defense coming off that bench, to his ability to stick him on one of the guards, and his ability to post up the other bench players' guards while also guarding one of the best players. And also, even if you don't need him to, he can be that safety. He's an ability to jump the passing lanes. He's been very, very good under Ty Lue. Ty Lue has been utilizing this man to the fullest. So shout out to Ty Lue. Ty Lue, man, shout out to him. But again, who I think who I personally think will win it, I think it will go to Malik Monk. Now, who I want to win it, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want Nas Reed to get it. I kind of want Nas Reed to get it. Again, all three of these dudes can realistically get it. All three of these guys can realistically very much get it because they don't have any missing requirements or anything like that. In terms of missing games, Russ has been fairly healthy. Nas has been healthy, and Malik has been healthy as well. So they haven't really missed that many games. So who I think the voters will pick, I think it will be Malik Monk because he's averaging the most points. He's putting up damn near 16 points per game on decent shooting splits, while Nas Reed is putting up around 14, and Russ is only putting up 11. But I think for that Minnesota team and how viable he has been for that team, not to say that Malik and Russell Westbrook aren't viable and very important to the teams, because I wholeheartedly agree that all three of these guys, if you take them away from their teams, I don't want to say significantly worse, but they definitely are not as good as they are. But my winner for the 6th Man of the Year award would go to Nas Reed, but I think the NBA will give it to Malik Monk. But I wanted to give a quick shout out to Russell Westbrook because I don't think he'll get the votes that he should because he has been injured, but I think he should get some votes. But I think the winner will be Malik Monk. Moving on to Coach of the Year. Now, I think there's a couple candidates. Now, again, Coach of the Year does not mean it's kind of like the MVP. Coach of the Year does not mean this is the best coach in the league because I think the best coach in the league is Eric Spoelstra, but I don't think Eric Spoelstra is going to win this award. Just for the simple fact that Miami, they coast a lot in the regular season. They've been dealing with some injuries as well. Jimmy's been in and out of the lineup. And also they've been experimenting with that starting lineup. If it's not Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler Hero, everyone else is being experimented on in that lineup and who's going to start, who's not going to start, who's going to play, who's not going to play. But the best coach in the league, I think by far, is Eric Spoelstra. I don't think that's too much of a hot take. And if it is, I really want to hear who you think is the best coach in the league. But I think for coach of the year, there's really only like maybe 2 candidates, maybe 3 that can realistically that can realistically really make a change. Not make a change, but how can I say this? I don't know, because a lot of teams have been surprising me, but there's none other. And I'm gonna butcher the coach's name. I'm so sorry. I'm trying so hard not to butcher this. Mark Denault. I think his name Denault. Coach Mark for the OKC Thunder. The way that he's got this team performing right now. Again, going into my Western Conference predictions, for all the people that are saying that the OKC Thunder were going to be this good, being essentially a top 3 seed in the West, they were the number 1 team in the Western Conference for a very long time. Stop it. Stop it. I had the OKC Thunder. I think a lot of people knew that the Thunder were going to make a jump this year. I'm not saying that people didn't predict that they were going to make a jump. I knew they were going to make a jump, but the jump that they made to be essentially like the number 1 team in the Western Conference, with teams like Denver being in the West and the Clippers and holding that spot for a very, very, very long time. They just recently lost it to like Denver and Minnesota. But yeah, the Thunder have greatly shocked me. And obviously, with this guy in the middle right here, their potential MVP candidate, this guy right here, potential Rookie of the Year candidate, even though we all know he's probably not going to win it. But still, phenomenal numbers all across the board. This team has been playing fantastic all year long. And even if we look at the Western Conference standings right here, these 3 teams right here, all in the same division. And quick question. Do people really care about divisions anymore in the NBA? Obviously it's not as important as like the NFL or even like baseball, but like, do people even care about divisions anymore? I was just always curious about that. But as you can see, you got Minnesota and Denver both tied for first in the West, and you have OKC literally right there, a game behind. And then not even the Clippers, who's too far with 4 games behind, and even the Mavs, who's been red hot, being 6 games behind. But looking at this team as a whole, if you want to just go really, really, really in depth with their stats and the numbers and all that stuff, if we want to look, offensive rating, they're ranked top 3, defensive rating top 10 in the league, net rating top 3, and then 3-point percentage, the best 3-point percentage. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the league, period. No one shoots the ball better than these guys. And it's crazy. And if you want to look at the progression that we have from these players, you got J-Dub, who's putting up damn near 20, 19 points. You got Chet Holmgren, who's putting up 17, Lou Dort putting up 11, and being their defensive anchor and defensive perimeter threat. Josh Giddey, even though people don't really like him like that no more, I understand he's been balling the fuck out lately. His last 5 games, the nigga's been putting up crazy numbers compared to his season averages, but still, this is a very good team, and obviously great pieces having Isaiah Joe off the bench. Where's the other J Dub? Jalen Williams, other Jalen Williams off the bench. Wiggins, Gordon Hayward, who really hasn't done much for them, but I think personally they're going to really be able to utilize him come playoff time, and I think that's when he'll shine the most. But even if we want to go more in depth, field goal percentage, they're second. Field goals made, field goals made second in the league. 3-pointers made top 10, top 5 in free throw percentage, second in true shooting, ass at rebounding because Chet's not in the paint. They're not really able to rebound like that. But if you want to look, top 2 in steals, first in blocks, third in scoring, like this team is phenomenal, man. This team is phenomenal. And spoiler alert, it's probably going to go to Coach Mark for the OKC Thunder. It's probably going to go to Mark. But I have one other coach in mind that deserves to get his respect. I think really, and there's other teams that you can throw in. There's other teams that you could throw in, like the Orlando Magic, and how they were able to essentially be a top 4 team for a while. You have, again, I'm trying to think, the Bucks, Coach of the Year, Doc Rivers. I'm lying. That nigga's not winning Coach of the Year. But you don't want to also leave out names like a Ty Lue or Mike Malone. I don't even want to say Jason Kidd because niggas think people say Jason Kidd is a terrible coach. Have y'all been seeing that? People been saying that, man, Jason Kidd is a bad coach. And I mean, I think the Mavs are winning games in spite of him. I think offensively, the Mavs are doing well under him, even though you would think defensively as well, because you think Jason Kidd, you think his playmaking ability, and it's also his ability to play defense. But I guess the Mavs defensively, before they went on their little run that they're going on now, was kind of defensively. But yeah, those are other teams like the Magic and the Nuggets. I almost said the niggas. The Nuggets, great team. But it's really only the Thunder and the Timberwolves, man. It's really only these 2 teams and their coach, Chris Finch. It's really only these 2 teams in terms of trying to win Coach of the Year. In my personal opinion, I think you can also throw in Joe Mazzulla for the Celtics, best team in all of the NBA. They've been the best team in the NBA since like game 20. It's not even been close. So if you want to throw his name in there, I personally don't disagree with you. Only reason why I would say it would be between the Timberwolves and the Thunder, because looking at where they were last year, looking at where this team was last year, they were 42-40. And even if we want to go back to where the Thunder were last year, 40-42. You had 2 teams that was essentially in the play-in, going from being play-in teams to being essentially both being top 2 teams in the West, and damn near being This is the best team in the West, and you have another team that was also the best team in the West. So it's like, it's crazy. And the crazy thing is, they're still without Cat, who's still been injured, so they don't even have their second to third best player. And yeah, man, I really think it's truly between just these two. I really only think it's between these two. I understand other candidates, other teams that you want to throw in, like a Magic or like a Celtics, even. But the jump that these two teams have made, and under Chris Finch, he's had this team playing phenomenal. He's had this team playing phenomenal. And if you want to look at the stats, top essentially 15-ish and offensive rating at 115, the best defensive team in the league, second in net rating, and the second best three-point percentage team right here. So they're literally right behind the Thunder. Excuse me. And if you want to go more in depth in their offensive stats, top 10 in field goal percentage, top 15 in 3-pointers made, second in 3-pointers attempted. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Being second, but then that's kind of crazy. Top 10 in free throws attempted and true shooting percentage, top 5 in defensive rebounds. Kind of crazy. It's top 10 in steals. And if you want to go, this is where they shine in opponent ranking. Look at all this green. Look at all this. You see the red because obviously this team is missing Cat. And I think if they had Cat, a lot of this red would be black or even green. But let's just look at this. Top 10 in field goals, top 1 in field goals made, top 10 in field goals attempted, first in field goal percentage, third in 3-pointers made, fourth in 3-pointers attempted, fifth in 3-point percentage, second in true shooting, 10 in offensive rebound, 5 in defensive rebounds, fourth in rebounds, second in assists, fourth in blocks, sixth in turnovers, fourth in personal fouls, and first in points. They're holding teams to under. In today's league, mind you, in today's league, with all the old heads screaming that there's no defense and there's strictly nothing but offense, this team is the holding teams to under 110 points. And essentially, teams are averaging 106 points playing against this team. That shows you how damn good this defense is. And even if you want to go strictly looking at these numbers, you have Anthony Edwards, who's having a breakout year, who just dropped 50 in front of 50. That man literally just dropped 50 points, 51 points. Let me not take away that extra point. That man dropped 51 points in front of 50 Cent last night. I know I may have hinted at Ja Morant being the face of the league. This man, Anthony Edwards, is the new face of the league. I don't care. I love Luka. Don't care. Shay, you're cool. No one's dropping 50 in front of 50, man. Who's doing that shit, man? But no. You got Rudy Gobert, who's had a resurgence of the year, defensive player of the year candidate, defensive player of the year front runner, which I'll get into in a minute. Cat, who's been phenomenal this year as well. Obviously, he's been injured, but when he was playing, he was also really good. Jaden McDaniels, a good 3-and-D guy. Mike Conley, a solid floor general for them. And then Naz Reid, potential 6-man of the year candidate and potential 6-man of the year winner, in my humble opinion. And their bench also is not bad as well with Naz Reid, Alexander Walker, Kyle Anderson, Monte Morris, Shake Milton, TJ Warren. Oh my God, they kind of decent. Oh my God, that's a decent ass bench. But again, I think the biggest test for them is obviously going to become playoff time. The biggest test for both of these two teams is going to come playoff time. But good thing for them, these aren't playoff awards. These are regular season awards. Now, who I think will win, it is a very, very, very tough. I think it will be the Thunder. Now, who I want to win it personally, I think I would prefer Chris Finch to win it. Just for the simple fact that, man, both two teams had the same exact record last year. The Timberwolves were 42-40. The Thunder were 40-42. Both were play-in teams, and now both teams are the two best teams, top 3 teams, whatever you want to say, in all of the Western Conference. I'm not even going to talk about the East because we all know where the Celtics are. But essentially, two of the best teams in all of the Western Conference. And now look at where they are. Both have rising players. Both have not MVP candidates, but both have rising stars in Shai Gilgeous and Anthony Edwards. One's an MVP, and one, I think, by next season will be MVP candidate. I don't think that's far off from him. You have both who have solid number two options, and J-Dub for the OKC Thunder and Karl Anthony Towns for the Timberwolves. Phenomenal bigs that can play D. Only thing is check and stretch the floor, and Rudy's just that damn good defensively. Solid role players around them. Both these teams are essentially the exact same. The only difference is the name and where they play. That's really the only difference. These two teams are the exact same. But I'm going to give the slightest of edge to the Timberwolves just for this fact that defensively they've been phenomenal from start to finish. When you could say the same about OKC, they've been great defensively. They've been great offensively. With the Timberwolves, again, you can kind of see the difference. But again, I don't have a problem with either one of these coaches winning, whether it be Coach Mark or Coach Chris, whether it be the Timberwolves winning it or whether it be the Thunder winning it. I really, again, they're the same team if I've mentioned for like the 60th time. But I really do think it'll be the Timberwolves. I would personally want the Timberwolves, but I wouldn't be mad if the Thunder win it. Now, for one of our newer awards not new, but I guess newer awards, Clutch Player of the Year. I didn't know how to do this, so I just put CP of the Year. I didn't want to type out the word clutch and then of the year. But Clutch Player of the Year, again, since it's more of a newer award, it's kind of harder to really, let me not say harder, but in terms of trying to, because everyone's definition of clutch is so different. Some people view clutch as what you do in the final seconds. Some people view clutch as what you do in the final minutes. Some people view clutch as what you do in the fourth quarter as a whole. So, again, I'm going off of my belief of what you've done in the final moments of the fourth quarter and just the moments of hitting clutch shots and fourth quarter points as a whole. I think fourth quarter points as a whole also counts very highly. And if there was also a comeback player of the year award, kind of like what the NFL does, this guy would 1,000% win it. And if you know by now, you know. Kyrie motherfreaking Irving, man. I wish I had a jersey on of Kyrie. Because, man, Kyrie, from what the media will tell you about this man, you would think that this man is the worst dude to ever touch a basketball court. He's a cancer. He's this. He's that. He's garbage. He's a diva. He's all the worst shit in the world you can think of. He's been labeled in essentially his entire career. Even last season when the Mavs didn't make the playoffs, even though he was there for like a fucking second, and people were trying to blame it on him and say Luka has no help and blah, 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 blah. But as we can see, this man, Kyrie Irving, has been phenomenal, especially these last 5 games. As we see, this man, Kyrie, has been putting up damn near 30 points a game. He's putting up 29 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 50% from the field, damn near 37% from the three-point line, and shooting 91% from the free throw line. Oh my goodness. This man is damn near putting up 50, 40, 90 in the last 5 games. But if you want to look at his whole, I guess, regular season, putting up 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, only 1 turnover a game, or close to 2 turnovers a game. It's not bad. But again, for the whole regular season, damn near putting up 50, 40, 90 on limited games played. He's only played 57 games because he was dealing with an injury. But now that he is back, he's been phenomenal. Shooting 49% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line. And as you can see from these last couple of games, he's been phenomenal. In the Charlotte game, again, it's Charlotte. Who cares? But the big game that him and Luka, I believe, combined for 85 points. And this was a much needed game too. This is like a must win, because I feel like if they didn't win this, for one, the Rockets probably would still be in playoff contention, and two, you want to get as high as you can, because right now they are 49-30, I believe the Mavericks are. So putting up 49.7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, shooting 60% from the field, damn near 38% from the three-point line, and shooting 88% from the free throw line. Oh my goodness. And even if you want to keep going further down, 26, 26, 27, and all relatively close games. The last game was a loss. The last time they lost was a couple days ago to the Warriors. But nah, man. And obviously the biggest shot, that probably the clutchest shot that we've seen all season, was his left-handed floater coming across the body over Nikola Jokic, a 7-foot guy, mind you, from the free throw line, banked that bitch in, called it quits, had this iconic photo. And yeah, man, this would be spoiler alert, this would be my clutch player of the year. Kyrie Irving has been clutch as fuck for the Mavericks, especially in this little late run that the Mavericks have been making. Ever since he's really came back, this nigga has been phenomenal. He's been amazing. He's been amazing. And honestly, he's my clutch player. When I was looking up other players for this award, I saw the people like a DeMar DeRozan, who is always clutch. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it or even gets some votes. But as clutch player of the year, who's been the clutchest player, it's been none other than Kyrie Irving, in my humble opinion. It's been, no one's been more clutch than Kyrie. So there's really no other candidate that I need to throw out. There's no other candidate you need to throw out, man. But now, moving on to Rookie of the Year / DPOY. I said DPOY. DPOY. And the only reason I have these two jumbled together is just for the simple fact of that the Rookie of the Year has a very, 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 very high chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year. And the Rookie of the Year comes to no surprises, Victor Wembanyama. This guy, again, I haven't been able to really talk about Vic that much because, again, I've been sick. But again, I've been keeping tabs on Vic from the 5x5x5x5 game he's been having, from the triple doubles, from all the crazy highlight plays, to this nigga having his fucking Nike logo. Have y'all seen his Nike? Hold on, let me show you. If you have not seen this man Victor Wembanyama's logo, and when it was released on the solar eclipse, this nigga has this is the definition of aura. This man is the definition of aura. Like, look at this shit. Look at this. You cannot tell me this is not the greatest logo damn near ever. This is hard. Is this not hard? This is hard, bro. That shit is hard. That shit is fucking hard. Once in a lifetime event for a once in a lifetime player. It's really not much really else to talk about with Vic, other than the simple fact that this man is going to win Rookie of the Year. He said himself that to give DPOY to the other candidate that I'm going to mention, because he's going to win every single other one afterwards, and I believe him. I very much believe him. I don't see no one else like beating this man for DPOY in terms of Victor Wembanyama ever again. Like, I don't. I really don't. I honestly, wholeheartedly cannot see anyone else beating out this man for DPOY ever. He might fuck around and win like 6 of them bitches. Like, I'm being so serious. And until voter fatigue kicks in, it's like, all right, brother, we get it. You the best nigga to ever block a shot. We don't want to, like, Like I saw a stat that said that he's blocked more shots than like 80% of like NBA players today, or like NBA players ever, or some shit like that. He's blocked more. He already has, I think he has 256 blocks or something like that. And it's gonna keep going because he's still playing. He's blocked like 256 shots or some bullshit like that. Let me see. Let me see if I can actually, because it was some crazy ass stat like that. It was some crazy ass stat. Like he's blocked more shots than like, no, not per 36. Oh my god, look at his per 36. Jesus Christ. I clicked on this by accident. Good lord. But yeah, his totals in terms of blocks. Where are blocks? 252. I saw a stat that said that he has like more blocks than like 60 or like 80. I can't remember if it was 60%, 62%, or like 82% of like NBA players today or all time or some bullshit like that. Which is fucking crazy because this is his rookie year. He's still gonna play, especially being on minutes restriction where he's only gonna be playing like, he's only been playing 29 minutes. He's been doing all this under 30 minutes. And even if we want to look at his per 36, which I clicked on by accident, look at these fucking numbers. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers for his per 36. 4 blocks, essentially 2 steals, 13 rebounds, putting up 26 points. Like, this is a realistic stat line for him going forward. Like, I would not, probably less on the turnovers because I would imagine he has more help. But like, this is a realistic stat line for him where we could see in the future this man's putting up 26, 2, 5, 13 with like damn near 5 blocks, shooting 46, 32, and damn near 80 from the field. And I would imagine those even go up even better. Yeah, man. Vic is the greatest nigga I've ever seen. Vic is the greatest nigga I've ever seen, man. He's the greatest man to ever touch a basketball, bro. He's certainly the greatest Frenchman to ever touch a basketball. Tony Parker, you've already been eclipsed, buddy. You've already been eclipsed, buddy. Move along. Get out. Boo-hoo, buddy. I've never seen nothing like him. I think this is probably not going to be the first time we see another dude like him. Because I think going forward with the NBA, it's just going to be a bunch of Chets, a bunch of Vics, hell, just a bunch of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard built ass niggas just walking around the league. It's just going to be a bunch of them dudes walking around the league, man. And it's just going to be a bunch of Vics running around. Probably not as good as him, but they're going to be around. They definitely going to be around. So, yeah, rookie of the year, there's no one else. Again, the only realistic person that you could even say would be Chet. And even then, I don't even think Chet thinks he's the rookie of the year. If you say Chet is the rookie of the year compared to Wemby, you're just a hater. That's the only other reason you're a hater. You're a hater. It's the only thing I can think of is that you're just a hater. And that's fine. And that's fine. It's okay to hate. It's okay to hate. Not to that level, but it's okay to hate, man. It is. It's okay to hate. It's okay to admit it too. But on a DPOY, the reason I have these two jumbled up is because we have the two Frenchmen going for this award. A lot of people, and a lot of people are starting to turn and they say that Vic deserves rookie of the year and defensive player of the year. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be one of them people. I'm not gonna lie, I used to be mad. I used to be thinking like that. But let's give this man his due diligence. Let's give this man his flowers. Rudy Gobert, especially compared to last season and the contract that he got and everyone was making fun of him, he's probably the most memed about, made fun of, hated player in the league, without question. You got old heads like Shaq consistently talking about him, saying that, man, this nigga Rudy Gobert's in the league, man. I get it, bro. We get it. You don't like, we get it. You think Rudy's soft. We get it. We get it, Shaq. We get it. You don't got to keep telling us every 2 seconds. But just looking at his totals, in terms of defense, obviously the numbers compared to Vic's, Vic, who had 200 and I believe 50 something, 252 blocks compared to Rudy's 155. I think he even has more steals than him. I don't know if he has more rebounds, but even still, I think where Vic loses a lot of people and loses a lot of votes, I think it would strictly be team success. Now, again, if we want to go look at the Timberwolves again, a lot. Now, I can't say all of it is strictly to Wemby. I mean, to Vic. I mean, God damn it, to Rudy. But a good chunk of it is because of him. If you look at a lot of these defensive stats, especially if you want to look at blocks, reboundage, field goal percentage, and things of that nature, a lot of that is because of Rudy Gobert. We cannot lie. A lot of that is because of him. Defensive rating being first in the league, especially when he's off the court compared to when he's on the court, is night and day. But I've seen people make the argument for when Vic is on the floor, the Spurs defensive rating is damn near top 5 in the league. Not even top 5. I believe they're like tied for like second or something like that. I seen a video that was talking about like when Vic is on the floor, the Spurs are one of the best defensive teams in the league versus to when he's off the floor, they're one of the worst. So it's strictly just off of one is playing a lot more minutes than the other one. So he has a more of ability to show and help his team defensively compared to the other one, who has the better numbers, being a Victor Wembanyama, who has significantly better numbers than a Rudy Gobert. Because if you look strictly off of numbers, you'd be like, oh, Vic should win, no question, hands down, end of discussion. But gotta look at that context, buddy. We're gonna learn a word named context today. And I think when you look at the context defensively, especially compared to what the Timberwolves was last year to now, is night and day. And Rudy Gobert is a big benefactor and a big contributor to the Timberwolves having the best defense in the entire NBA. And also the fact that he's able to really showcase his defensive capabilities and also improving defensively, as we used to be making fun of this nigga, how his ability to not stay in front of the guards of today, and his ability not to guard the perimeter, and how he used to get dunked on, and people made fun of him when he got essentially demolished by Terrence Mann in the playoffs. But using context, that Utah Jazz team outside of Rudy Gobert was horrible defensively. They could score the ball, but defensively wise, they were horrible. And so the fact that Rudy was able to get them to make them one of the best defensive teams in the league, and then just came playoff time, they just ran out of gas. It shows. It shows a lot. Obviously, on the Timberwolves, he has a lot of better defenders, point of attack defenders to be in particular around him, and a Jaden McDaniels, and an Anthony Edwards who actually tries on defense, and a Mike Conley who's solid on defense, and a Naz Reid who can guard 1 through 5. Really, the only, I guess, lackadaisical defensive player that they have, you could say, it will be Cat, and even then, you can make up with that because you have Cat surrounded by a bunch of defensive-minded guys. So, again, I understand people that say Vic should win it. Hell, I used to be one of those people that think, man, give it to Vic. Give it to him, man. Fuck it. When's the next time we're going to see a rookie with Defensive Player of the Year and a Rookie of the Year in the same year? Probably never. So make it happen. But I do think that the league will give it to Rudy because of the simple fact that the Timberwolves have been the best defensive team damn near since the league started. It's been like, not since the league, but since like tip-off. These motherfuckers have been the best defensive team, and it's been no question. However, who I think the league will give it to and who I want them to give it to are two different things, man. Give that shit to Vic, man. Give it to Vic. I want him to give it to Vic because, excuse me, like I mentioned, when Vic is on the floor, the Spurs are one of the best defensive teams. And Vic having significantly worse defensive point of attack defenders around him, I think the best, I guess, perimeter defender he would have would probably be a Jeremy Sokan, and he's okay, I guess. But no, I would say strictly you're saying if you want Vic to win it, it would strictly just be off stats. I think that would be the only reason you would really want Vic to win it is because his stats is better than Rudy's. And while yes, when he's on the floor, the Spurs defensive rating goes from being one of the worst in the league to being arguably the best or tied for the best in the league. I understand that. So I personally would say give it to him, but I understand they're not going to give it to him. It's going to go to Rudy. It's going to go to Rudy. But, hey, man, do it for the culture. NBA, you got a once-in-a-lifetime generational player, man. Do it for the culture, man. Give it to him. Give them both awards, man. Let them, you know what I'm saying? Get that shit popping, man. Get that shit popping, man. Do that. Let them do that shit. But, yeah, Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year will be Rudy Gobert. So before we get into the main attraction, let's quickly go over all my award predictions real quick. Again, 6 month a year. I said I want Naz Reid to win it, but I think they'll give it to Malik Monk. Coach of the Year is really a toss-up between OKC's coach and the Timberwolves coach. I think Chris Finch might edge him out, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder get it. They're probably going to give it to the Thunder. Clutch Player of the Year, I think, is Kyrie Irving. And I do think the league will give it to Kyrie Irving. And then again, Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama, no contest. And Defensive Player of the Year, I want them to give it to Vic, but they're going to give it to Rudy Gobert. Again, and there's no shade to Rudy Gobert. I think outside of him and outside of Vic, I think you can make an argument that Rudy Gobert is the best defensive player in the league. And that's not a bad argument. It's not a hot take at all. But, hey, man. It's that time, baby. It's that time, baby. Let's go. It's the award everybody care about, man. MVP, man. MVP, man. It's the award everybody care about, man. It's the only award that matters, man. All the other awards are cool and all, but it's the only award that matters, at least on media television, because it's the only award they talk about. Holy shit. But leading us off will be none other than Nikola Jokic. I think he's currently the front runner, if according to NBA.com. I believe he has, I think, the most first place votes right now. But yeah, Nikola Jokic. He's Nikola Jokic. Looking at his last 5 games, he's been putting, Jesus Christ. This man's been putting up 30 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal, almost a block, 57% from the field, 43% from the three-point line, and 80% from the free throw line. And then looking at his regular season as a whole, he's been putting up 26, 12, 9, a steal and a block a game on 58% shooting from the field, 38 from 3, and 82-ish from the free throw line, with 25 triple-doubles on the year and 65 double-doubles on the year. Holy jeez Louise. And even if you want to look at his last couple recent games, he's been putting up phenomenal numbers because it's Jokic, and that's what he does. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the Denver Nuggets, I believe, are tied with the Timberwolves for the number 1 seed in the West. So standings, he's got that on lock. The numbers, he's been putting up phenomenal numbers, especially these most recently. But I think the only reason that he probably wouldn't win it would strictly be because he's only putting up 26 points per game. And I say only like that's not a lot of fucking points. But yeah, he's probably gonna win it. He's most likely gonna win it. And yeah. He's been putting up phenomenal numbers. True shooting percentage is crazy, putting up damn near 65% from the as true shooting. And then looking at his totals as well. Ooh, excuse me. Looking at totals as well. It's been actually phenomenal as well. Looking at all his totals. Yeah. This guy's really good at basketball, guys. Like, is what else can be said about Jokic that doesn't already get praised enough? Jokic is the best player in the league, best center in the league, best big in the league, best whatever in the league. Damn near the best player on the best team in the league, depending on how you feel on the Celtics. He obviously is going to be a big reason for them potentially repeating this year. And if they do repeat this year, I guess this is a hot take, but if the Denver Nuggets repeat this year, and I'm saying it here first, if the Denver Nuggets go out and beat everyone in the West, let's say they meet the Celtics in the finals and they beat the Celtics in whatever series it is, let's just say they beat them in 6. If the Denver Nuggets go out and repeat this year, I don't see no team beating them for like 3-4 years. I honestly think they could realistically win 4 in a row. Like, I'm being so they damn sure win 3 in a row. I really think they could win 4 in a row. I'm being so serious. Barring any injuries, barring any contract disputes or anything like that. And then also another thing is they're young too, this team. Jamal Murray's not that old. MPJ is not that old. Aaron Gordon is still in his role player prime. Jokic is still in his prime and is only getting better. If they go out and repeat and beat the Celtics next year, or beat the Celtics this year, or beat whoever in the finals this year, I realistically think that this team has a chance to not only win again and win 3 in a row, but I think that these motherfuckers fuck around and win 4 in a row. I'm being so serious. I don't see no one beating them. The only real comp to them would be the Boston Celtics. And we know how the Boston Celtics like to get down when it come playoff time. So, hey, man, if you niggas don't want to see, if you niggas hate Jokic that much, y'all better pray. Y'all better pray that the Celtics beat them in the finals or whoever makes it to the finals from the East. Because if they don't, it's going to be Denver league for a very long time. It's going to be their league for a very, very, very long time. Very long time. So, yeah, man, shout out to Jokic. Shout out to this man, the best player in the league, without question, hands down. No question, man. No question. Now, on to another foreign-born player, Luka Doncic, the real MVP. Give it up for him, everybody. Yeah. Give it up for him, the real MVP. Let me stop. Let me stop for niggas think I hate Jokic. Oh my God, look at his averages. This man on his career averages 28, 8, and 8. Good God. But yeah, last 5 games. I always like to look at the last 5 games because, why not? But the last 5 games, Luka and the Mavs again have been phenomenal. Actually, let me just look at the Mavs before I even talk about Luka real quick. I want to see what they've been doing. 40, 49, and 30. This team has just been phenomenal, man. I believe, aren't they on like a winning streak or something like that? Oh wait, I'm stupid. Yeah, they won 1, 2. Outside of that Golden State loss, they won 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 in a row, lost, and then won 4 in a row. Yeah, man. The Mavs are getting hot at the right time. The Mavs are getting hot at the right time, and they're beating. Again, they're not beating the greatest of teams. The Heat is probably the best team that they beat. Actually, no, I lied. They beat Denver. Oh yeah, that was the game where that Kyrie hit. Denver was the best team that they beat. They beat Houston, a very important game. They barely lost to Golden State, but then got it back. Beat Houston again, and then a very tough test against OKC, and then the last game against Miami. So yeah, man. I just wanted to Look at the Mavs real quick, because niggas was calling me fucking crazy. Niggas was calling me crazy when I said the Mavs are a sneaky Western Conference Finals team. Niggas was all on my video was calling me crazy because and this was before they made trades for Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. This was before they made that trade. I thought the Mavs. I still thought, I'm like, man, the Mavs, man, Luka, man, Kyrie, man. Niggas like, nah, you glazing, nah, bro, you glazing. Nah, bro, you tripping, man. The Mavs ain't on shit, man. Now look at them. These niggas damn near won 11 in a row and are the hottest team in all of basketball. And I don't think no one wants to see this man or Kyrie Irving in the playoffs because I know I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't, bro. But hey, man, what do I know? I'm just a nigga that talk basketball. What do I know? I'm just a young person. I'm just a 24-year-old that just talks about basketball, man. But what the fuck do I know? Anyway, looking at his last 5 games, we got him putting up 26-11, essentially a triple-double, putting up 36. I said 26. 36, 11, and 10, essentially with a steal and a block a game. Turnovers is crazy. Why does Luka have such a bad free throw percentage? Why can't Luka shoot free throws? That's always interesting to me. But shooting 50, 46, and 80 from the field. True shooting percentage being around 66, having 5 double-doubles and 2 triple-doubles on the year in the last 5 games. And then looking at his regular season averages, he's putting up 34 points per game, leading the league in scoring, 9 rebounds a game, almost 10 assists a game, a steal, 48% from the field, 38% from 3, and almost 80% from the free throw line with damn near 50 double-doubles on the year and 21 triple-doubles on the year as well. And then we look at the last 5 games, like I mentioned, crazy game. A very good game against Charlotte. Again, the game that really, really solidified their playoff contention was that Houston game where him and Kyrie both combined for 85 points. The Hawks game, yeah, solid. And then this game, he was also very solid as well. So, yeah, man, shout out Luka. Again, with the Mavs, the reason I looked at the Mavs also is because a lot of other people also like to have and look at the standings. But the Mavs being the 5th seed, I don't think that even, I won't say that matters, but I don't think it's too crazy. I don't think that's too crazy. Because if I'm looking, let me actually show y'all what I'm looking at real quick. Because if I'm looking at the standings, obviously looking at the Mavs, they're 6.5 games back from first place, but they're not going to get that because there's only 3 games. They have 3 games left. What is it? 3 games left in the regular season. So I realistically think that they could catch the Clippers. They're 3 games behind the Clippers, and if they win out, they realistically could catch the Thunder. If the Thunder, lose out, or if the Clippers lose out, they could catch the Thunder and the Clippers. But I think they'll be, content around that 4th or 5th spot. So with a first round matchup being the Clippers and the Mavs, holy shit, that's gonna be crazy. And then, don't worry. Playoff predictions is coming. Playoff predictions are coming. I'm trying to wait. I'm the only reason I have not done playoff predictions because the Western Conference keeps shifting every other day. That's literally the only reason. The only reason I have not done playoff predictions is because the Western Conference keeps on fucking shifting. And also with the play-in tournament, you don't know who's going to play who. But you kind of have a good idea, especially with the play-in tournament and things of that nature. But this Western Conference has been making it very hard to try to do these playoffs. I was essentially going to do playoff predictions before I decided to let me just do the awards because I haven't really talked about awards all year long. But so yeah, shout out to the Western Conference, man. You niggas is making my life hell. But yeah, Luka is Luka. He's been phenomenal all year. Yeah, man. I think I don't want to say it's a 2-man race. I think it's between him, Luka, Jokic and Luka, because there are other players that have been phenomenal as well. Also, this guy who I mentioned earlier, who's been again solid. He's kind of slowed down a little bit these last couple of games, his last 5 games, putting up 24, 5 and 5 with 2 steals and almost a block, 46, 30, and 80 from the field. But looking at his his regular season numbers, he's putting up 30 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, almost a block on 54, 37, 87 splits on the year. And also these last 5 couple games, he's been kind of solid outside of that Milwaukee game where they just got blown out. But yeah, the only reason why I really wouldn't see him winning it is just for the simple fact of Luka has been putting up just crazy numbers. Jokic, and you can't really say, well, Denver's the first seed, and the Thunder's the third seed, so they're a game back. So standings, really, the only player that is somewhat affected by standings would be Luka, and even then, they're the 5th seed, and the Thunder and the Nuggets are the 2nd and 3rd seed, and he's only 6 games behind the Thunder. If there were 6 more games left in the regular season, I truly do think that they could catch them or try to lap the Clippers. They could probably lap the Clippers or even lap the Thunder. But yeah, he's been having a phenomenal year, obviously a breakout year. To go from to go from building off of last season to continue to be this great. Ever since really he's gotten to OKC, he's gotten better every single year after year after year after year. And obviously with the addition of Chet and just the elevation of J-Dub and Josh Giddey and Lou Dort is still being solid. This team is obviously going to be a very, very solid team, a very good team. The only reason why I would say he wouldn't win it, even though that he still, I think, should still be in contention for it. Because, with Luka being as hot as he is right now, Jokic is still going to be Jokic. You have players like Giannis and Tatum who's still going to be in that forefront. You kind of can lose Shea a little bit. But I do think that with him being the best player on essentially was the best team in the West for essentially all year long until literally right now, that deserves something. He's been phenomenal on both sides of the ball as well. And to lead this young team to be as dominant and to be as good as they are now, he does deserve his flowers, I believe. So right now, if I would have to rank these 3, my personal 3, it would be Luka, Jokic, Shea. Whoa, I just put those 4 niggas. Luka, Jokic, and Shea. I think the only reason Shea would be 3rd for me is just for the simple fact that Jokic is just outside of points. Obviously, Jokic is averaging the least amount of points. I think he's averaging the least amount of points out of all the top 5 players in he's averaging essentially the less, because Jason Tatum, who's a top 5 MVP candidate, is averaging more than him. And I know Giannis, I just saw Giannis is averaging 30. And so, yeah, man, you got to feel for him a little bit, because I don't think he'll win it, but I do think he's having an MVP type of season. He's an MVP caliber type of player. He's definitely, I think, without a doubt, a top 10 player for sure, with him being on the cusp last season or coming into the season. When I made my top 10 players, I was very hesitant to putting him inside of that top 10 because I was like, I don't know yet. Maybe we'll see. But now he is undoubtedly a top 10 player. I don't even think it's close. No question. Like, no fucking question at all. But yeah, man, who I think should win MVP, I think it should be Luka. I think it goes to Luka. I think Luka is having a phenomenal year. He's been phenomenal from start to finish. Not to say that the other 2 guys or even all the other 5 guys in the MVP conversation have not been phenomenal, again, the top 5 MVP candidates, just in case if you wondering who I keep mentioning, in no order, is Luka, Jokic, Shea, Giannis, and Jason Tatum. Those are the top 5 guys. And whatever basketball circle conversation, whether it be NBA, Bleacher Report, those are the consensus top 5 guys in the MVP conversation. And I think he's been performing better than all those guys, with exception of maybe Giannis, because he's been kind of just not, let me not say just as good, but he's been also very fucking good. It's just that his team is just so wishy-washy in the coaching situation. But with all that being said, I do think Luka, who has been phenomenal all year long, from start to finish, his numbers have been great. His play has been great. And especially now, you've seen him play, even though obviously the numbers really don't show it. Defensively, Luka has been solid as fuck. He's been playing his ass off defensively. I think now, because he has Kyrie Irving back, I think Kyrie Irving deserves a lot more credit to Luka's MVP case. Even though, again, Luka has been playing phenomenal with or without Kyrie Irving, who's been injured for a little bit of the year. But Luka's been playing. Luka's play, I think, more on the defensive side of the ball, really testament to how much he's benefited from having Kyrie on that bitch. Because I've seen Luka dive at balls. He's been blocking shots. He's been playing the pass lane. With in the earlier of the year, you would see low lights of Luka just like jogging back on defense, and now you see him actually giving full effort on defense, because for one, the Mavs have a chance to be the 4 seed and have a chance to get home court advantage against the Clippers. And on top of that, you want to be, as hot as you can be going into the playoffs. So I think my personal MVP is Luka. I think the MVP is Luka. I think the award should go to him. And also another fact of the Mavs, just him holding the Mavs afloat. Before the PJ Washington and the Dame Gafford trade, while Kyrie Irving was out, he was still holding the Mavs afloat. And then now, obviously, getting those pieces back, I'm able to go on a 7-game winning streak and then go on a 4-game winning streak, hopefully another 7-game winning streak to close out the year. Yeah, man, I think it should be Luka. Now, who I think they'll give it to, I think it'll give it to Jokic. I think no question they're going to give it to Jokic. But again, I could be wrong. I think as of these last couple of weeks, the top 2 for me has been Luka and Jokic, because they've just been that damn good. But I would not be surprised if they give it to Luka. But with Jokic having the most first place votes, being on essentially the second best or third, but whatever, top 5 team in all of the NBA, being essentially tied for first in the Western Conference, is stacked as Western Conference as it is, and not having the craziest of numbers as a Luka or even a Shea to that degree, but you know what you get from Jokic. He's a triple-double machine, literally a walking triple-double, giving you damn near 27, 10, and 10, damn near every single night. And even performing well enough with his team, with Jamal Murray being out, him being sidelined for as long as he's been. And so yeah. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think on all of these awards. But yeah, man, that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing my face again. Again, if I still do sound a little nasally, it's because my voice is still getting back a little bit, but I'm essentially 100% better. And that means more videos. Yay. But don't get used to this. Don't get used, even though I look good you dig me? I look good in this. You know what I'm saying? I look good in one of these. You know what I'm saying? Let me stop. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Again, comment down below your award predictions. Let me know who you think should win 6-man, Coach of the Year, Clutch, Rookie of the Year, DPOY, and MVP as well. Do you agree with my takes? Do you disagree with my takes? Let me know. And I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in again. I've been your gracious host, Jalen Miles, and thank you for tuning in and coming back to the Lazy Cast. Peace. Again, until next time, probably the next video. Probably the next video would be the play-in or playoffs or recapping the playoff predictions going into the play-in, whatever the case may be. But yeah, bye guys. Bye-bye.